Hey you all, this is Brian and you are watching the Dark Age channel.
Ever thought about whether or not there are hidden secrets lurking in your grocery store haul? Well, you're in for a wild ride. We're about to blow the lid off some of the most eyebrow-raising, jaw-dropping truths about everyday food items. In this video, we'll talk about the most dangerous grocery products you should never, and I mean never ever, stockpile. Imagine cruising through the aisles, tossing items into your cart, confident you're picking the best for your pantry. But what if I told you that some of these so-called staples could be imposters in disguise? Yeah, that's right. We're not just talking about a little food fibbing here. We're diving into a world where what's on the label might not be what's in the box, can, or bottle. From the deceptive to the downright hazardous, we've got the scoop on what's really sitting on those shelves. And trust me, it's not all just about taste and quality. Some of these revelations are downright alarming. Before you stock up for your next big cookout or hunker down for winter, let's take a trip down the grocery aisles like you've never seen them before. Ready to have your grocery game flipped on its head? Let's get started! Number 1. Fake steak. And finally, let's sink our teeth into a topic that's literally a cut above the rest. Fake steak. Now, you might be picturing a nice, juicy steak on your plate. But what if I told you that some of those steaks aren't exactly what they appear to be? That's right. We're talking about the infamous meat glue. Or in fancier terms, transglutaminase. Here's the beef. Some restaurants and meat producers have taken to fusing together smaller pieces of meat using this so-called meat glue. Why? Well, it's often about stretching a dollar further. But there's more to this meaty matter than just economics. When you piece together different cuts of meat, you're also increasing the chances of bacterial contamination. That's because more surface area of the meat gets exposed. And that means more opportunities for those pesky bacteria to hitch a ride. Originally, this meat glue magic ingredient came from animal blood plasma, but now it's often made by fermenting bacteria. The catch is, there's a bit of mystery surrounding the whole process. It can just leave you wondering what you're really biting into. Number 2. Canned tuna. Number 2 on our list is something fishy in the world of canned fish. Canned tuna. This pantry staple, a go-to for quick lunches and protein-packed snacks, might not be as straightforward as you think. You'd assume that when you crack open a can of tuna, you're getting just that tuna. But here's a twist that might just change the way you look at your next tuna sandwich. During a sweeping investigation, it was discovered that an astonishing number of brands didn't actually contain real tuna. Instead, what was swimming in those cans was a fish called escolar, also known as butterfish or oilfish. Now, this might not sound like a big deal at first. One fish, another fish, what's the difference, right? But escolar has a reputation that's a bit more complicated. Back in 1977, Japan decided to ban escolar due to its toxicity. Yep, you heard that right. Japan of all places. And if that doesn't raise your eyebrows, the side effects might. Escolar is known for causing abdominal pains, diarrhea, nausea, and even headache. Number 3. Crab sticks. Let's dive into the world of crab sticks, or as they're sometimes called, imitation crab. If you've ever wondered why these seafood snacks are so budget-friendly compared to real crab, the answer's a bit fishier than you might expect. Crab sticks are often labeled as surimi, which is a kind of fishy Frankenstein's monster. They're made from different kinds of mashed-up fish, often the leftovers that don't make the cut elsewhere. These fish bits are then blended with starch from potatoes, wheat, corn, or tapioca to give them that chewy texture. But the real catch? These sticks don't naturally taste like crab. So, to get that seafood flavor, manufacturers throw in some crab flavoring. Plus, they add in protein boosters like egg white or soy protein to make the mix more substantial. To sweeten the deal, they toss in sugar and sorbitol. Let's not forget the oils, usually soy or other vegetable types, and a sprinkle of sodium benzoate to keep everything fresh. And for the grand finale, a dash of coloring is added to give those sticks their signature just caught from the ocean look. Number 4. White chocolate. Let's melt into the world of white chocolate, a sweet treat that often takes the spotlight in our favorite desserts. But hold on to your sweet tooth, because not all white chocolate is created equal. Despite its name, white chocolate is kind of the odd one out in the chocolate family. Why? It's missing a key ingredient that its darker relatives boast: cocoa solids. Now, True white chocolate is a mix of cocoa butter, sugar, and milk products. Sounds pretty straightforward, right? But here's where things get a bit sticky. Some brands, especially the big commercial ones, have decided to cut some corners. They skimp on the cocoa butter, replacing it with cheaper fats. What you end up with is a white chocolate that might feel a tad waxy in your mouth and leave your taste buds feeling a bit shortchanged. And get this, the FDA isn't super strict about what gets to call itself white chocolate. So, companies sometimes play fast and loose with the recipe. That means the white chocolate in your candy bar or chocolate chip cookie might be a far cry from the creamy delight you're expecting. Number 5. Extra virgin olive oil. Alright, let's drizzle some truth on a kitchen staple, extra virgin olive oil. Now, when you reach for that sleek bottle, picturing a Mediterranean paradise, you might be in for a surprise. Here's a slick fact. A staggering 80% of what's sitting pretty on the shelves and labeled extra virgin might just be pulling a fast one on us. Extra virgin olive oil is supposed to be the creme de la creme of olive oils, right? We're talking cold-pressed, bursting with antioxidants, and that signature fresh, grassy taste. But many bottles out there are just a shadow of this. They're often mixed with other less fancy oils like canola or a hodgepodge of whatever's handy. This means you're often getting an oil cocktail that's been heated, stripped of nutrients, and well, not living up to its label. Now, if you've ever had the real deal, like the kind that changes your life when you taste it in Italy, you know there's a world of difference. Number 6. Blueberry products. Let's dive into something berry deceiving those blueberry products you see everywhere. Picture this. You're grabbing a blueberry muffin from your local coffee shop, expecting to bite into real, juicy berries. But what you might actually be getting is a masterclass in food fakery. Many products touting blueberries are dishing out fakes. These imposter berries are crafty little concoctions made of sugar, corn syrup, starch, hydrogenated oil, artificial flavors, and a splash of blue dye for good measure. It's like inviting a stand-in for the real blueberry, hoping we won't notice the switch. This blueberry masquerade isn't just about missing out on the delicious taste of real fruit. It's also about losing the health benefits of genuine blueberries, packed with antioxidants. Instead, you're biting into a cluster of sugar and artificial ingredients. So, whenever you're tempted to buy a blueberry-labeled product, maybe consider grabbing some fresh blueberries instead. Number 7. Maple syrup. Let's pour out the truth about a breakfast favorite, maple syrup. When you're drizzling that sticky, sweet goodness over pancakes or waffles, you might be picturing it coming straight from the majestic maple trees of Vermont or Canada. But here's a sticky situation. A lot of what's labeled as maple syrup in stores is more of a wannabe than the real deal. Most commercial maple syrups are actually just maple-flavored sugar syrup. That's right. It's often just a concoction of sugar, sometimes it's dark brown, sometimes refined white, jazzed up with some maple flavoring. And let's not forget the role of high-fructose corn syrup, sneaking its way into many brands. The catch here is that these imitations are missing the natural antioxidants that the real maple syrup boasts. So, to make up for it, manufacturers add preservatives like sodium benzoate and ascorbic acid. This means you're not just missing out on the authentic flavor, but also the health benefits that pure maple syrup offers. Number 8. Parmesan cheese. Next up, let's talk about a little Italian imposter hiding in plain sight in our fridges. Parmesan cheese, number 8 on our list. Now, when you hear Parmesan, you might conjure up images of old-world Italian cheesemakers, but what's often in our shakers and packets here in the US could be more mystery than Parma. First off, real Parmesan, the kind from Parma, Italy, is a culinary treasure. But what many of us are sprinkling on our spaghetti is a far cry from that. We're talking about a cheese that's often bulked up with a blend of cheaper cheeses, maybe a little cheddar, maybe some powdered mozzarella. But it doesn't stop there. Here's a twist that might make you cringe. Some of these Parmesan products have a little extra something cellulose. Yep, that's wood pulp, folks. And it's not just a pinch. Some brands can have up to 20% cellulose. That's a fifth of your cheese shaker filled with, well, tree stuff. It's a clever trick by manufacturers to cut costs, but it leaves us cheese lovers scratching our heads. Number 9. Orange juice. Let's squeeze the truth out of something we often gulp down without a second thought. Orange juice, number 9 on our list. Now, I'm not talking about the freshly squeezed kind your grandma makes. Nope, I'm diving into those cartons and bottles lining the grocery store shelves, the ones promising freshly squeezed bliss. You might picture oranges being lovingly pressed into that vibrant, tangy liquid, but hold up. Not all commercial orange juices are the straight-from-the-tree deal they claim to be. Most of these so-called fresh juices have a little secret. They're often stored in gigantic tanks for months on end. And here's the zesty twist. To keep them from going bad, they suck the oxygen out, which also takes away that fresh orange flavor. But wait, the plot thickens. When it's time to hit the shelves, these juices get a makeover with flavor packs engineered to bring back that zesty, fresh taste. Irony much? So that refreshing morning, OJ might not be as fresh as you thought. Number 10, instant coffee. So, coffee lovers, let's chat about something that might be sitting in your kitchen right now. It's the quick fix, the instant buzz we reach for when time's a crunch. But here's the thing, there's more in that jar than just freeze-dried coffee crystals. Now, I'm not trying to rain on your coffee parade, but some instant coffee brands are like those mystery meat hot dogs of the beverage world. They can pack a bunch of surprising ingredients like cereals, caramel, and even figs. Yeah, you heard that right, figs in your coffee. And while these additives might not turn your morning cup into a fruit salad, it sure makes you wonder what you're actually sipping on. But here's the real kicker, acrylamide. This sneaky chemical shows up when coffee beans are roasted, and guess what? Instant coffee got more than double the acrylamide of regular brewed coffee. We're talking about a chemical that's not exactly high on the list of things you want in your body, being linked to some serious health concerns.